All right, good evening. Welcome to the Hermiston City Council meeting for June 27, 2022. We have a declaration of a quorum. We are excusing Mrs. Peterson and Mrs. Duran this evening, as well as the youth advisor, Ms. Doherty. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Mr. Smith, any changes on the agenda? Okay. So we are at our first opportunity for citizen input this evening. If you would like to speak to the City Council about any items that are not on our agenda, please come up to the microphone up front, introduce yourself by name and address, and direct your comments to me, and keep them to less than 5 minutes, please.
Oh, hello. I'm David McCarthy. I live on Hurlburt Avenue. Just wanted to say that Chief Stanton invited me as sort of an unofficial recognition of the election to tour the fire station here, and also asked me to come out and celebrate with him at the groundbreaking at the station on forgetting the street name, Station 22. Anyways, so I participated in that groundbreaking, and they're excited. They said their phase 1 should be complete by December. And so I just wanted to report on that, since there was no one here from the station to do so. So it just went well, and there was well attended.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. I don't remember receiving an invitation to that, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Chief Stanton asked me to apologize for that.
Okay.
He notified me like the day before, so I wasn't able to change my schedule, and I wasn't able to get the word out to all of you. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I read it in the newspaper, so nice event. Any others like to speak this evening? Okay. Consent agenda items. We have consent agenda items A through G. Do we need to pull any of those? No. Seeing none. Any public consent agenda items on any public consent comment? Wow. Is there any public comment? There you go. On consent agenda items A through G. Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved by Councilor Davis, seconded by Councilor Primer, that we approve consent agenda items A through G as presented. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Moving on to number 7A, Resolution 2226, a resolution readopting the financial policies and investment policy for the City of Hermiston. Mr. Smith.
yes, so because we're not proposing any major actions, I'll just within the financial policies that we review them every year just to make sure if we have anything that we'd like to change, or if any legal reasons, and there are no proposed changes at this point, so we're just requesting that the council adopt the resolution and approve them for another year.
Okay. So no changes, just update, or not updating, but just approving or reapproving.
Yeah,
Okay.
just making sure we take a look at them on an annual basis, and the council has a chance to do so as well.
Perfect. Any public comment on Resolution 2226? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Primer, seconded by Councilor Spicer-Coon, that we approve Resolution 2226 as presented. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Resolution 2227, adopting an IGA with Morrill County for IT services. Mr. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as we started up an IT department this year, and will be in full swing next year, we have the ability to provide some services to other local governments who have similar needs and similar operations that we can, we feel like we can do a good job of helping them in that way. So we started out, we have, this first one is with Morrill County, and they would be, if this IGA is approved, they would be our largest customer outside of ourselves. And so they're looking for 5 days a week of service, and they will be contributing, I'm just trying to get through the agenda, about $250,000 a year to the city. And be happy to talk through any questions or anything, but we're really excited to kind of on this new venture.
So we have 3 of these in a row, and so the first one with Morrill County is for 5 days. Are they essentially the same contract, just different, like, lengths of service?
Different amounts of service, yes. So each organization, when we talked with them, this was the level of service they thought they would need. And you know, something that we've talked with them about is that we would, you know, evaluate this on an annual basis. Are we getting you enough service, or not enough? And then making adjustments to these agreements in that way.
Okay.
So it's pretty much the same explanation to all 3 resolutions. If you'd like me to talk about each of them, I'd be happy to, but
Okay.
they're
Would the
about
council
same.
like, they need to hear about each one? Yes? Yes, absolutely.
Do you have what's an idea of the cost of this to the city of Hermiston and then offset by how much?
So I was just looking at it today. So we have about, basically the city's cost into this after hiring the staff, our net cost is about $200,000. So our total revenue that we're anticipating is about a little over $320,000, because the city of Echo, they've asked for a kind of more of a on-demand type contract, and so that one won't be, I won't be able to give you exact dollar amount on that, but.
Thank you.
Spicer Coon? Yeah.
I was just curious, it says this contract starts July 1st of this year.
That's correct.
I mean, we just hired our IT staff like this month, I mean, a good portion of them, and I think we've got, what, 3 or 4 now?
We have two that are actually on payroll. The other 2 start on July 1st.
Okay.
And we're comfortable we can do this. We've communicated with all of the organizations. They know there'll be a little bit of, you know, startup time in the first month or so, but we're comfortable with that, yes.
Yeah. I was going to add, it looks like there's 3 pages of services that we're providing to them.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a very quick time to start when we've just started this department, you know, within a month and a half.
Well, the staff that we've hired all have experience doing this. Many of them for some of these same organizations, so they're familiar with their systems, and so that's one of the reasons we're more comfortable than if we just hired somebody who had not, for example, been into Morrill County. I'll introduce him later, but our IT director has been Morrill County's prime contact with the ESD for the last, 15 years. So familiar with their systems, and so we're comfortable that we know there'll be hiccups, but that we can get up to speed in a quick turnaround.
So by bringing this in-house and subcontracting out, will we get a better quality of service?
Yes.
Okay. And for less money than we were currently paying, or?
Or what we would have paid to the ESD for what we were requesting.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Any other questions from council? Youth advisors? Nothing? Okay. Any public comment? We'll start with Resolution 2227, adopting an IGA with Morrill County for IT services. Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2227?
So moved. Second.
I heard Mr. Primer first, so I'm going to say Counselor Primer motioned, and it was seconded by Counselor Harden. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously. So Resolution 2228, not a lot different, just a different subcontracting.
Correct, this is with the fire district. And again, Mr. Stanley has been their prime support person from the ESD as well.
Any questions from the council? How many days is this one?
This is 2 days a week.
2 days a week. Any public comment? 2228? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. And moved by Councilor Davis, seconded by Councilor Primer, that we approve Resolution 2228, adopting an IGA with Umatilla County Fire District Number 1 for its IT services. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Resolution 2229, adopting an IGA with the City of Hermiston for IT services.
Yeah, and I apologize, I had them mixed up. So Umatilla is 2 days a week, the fire district's 1 day a week.
Okay.
But that's
Same sort of services,
same sort of services.
less time.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions from council?
When you just spoke, you said City of Hermiston, but I think you meant.
Oh, yes, City of Umatilla, yes, sorry. Okay. Any public comment on Resolution 2229? Okay, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2229?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Spicer-Coon, second by Councilor Davis, that we adopt Resolution 2229. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Smith, May 2022 financial report.
Yes, I'll turn this over to Mr. Kay.
Mr. Kay, welcome.
Mr. Mayor, Council, next to last month in the fiscal year, we're anxiously awaiting the end of the fiscal year to start our budget for 23. Turn it on, Mark. Hermiston Urban Renewal Agency is at 102% of projected property tax revenue. I think they'll hit 103% before the end of the year. They're, as usual, always in good shape under Mr. Spencer's stewardship. We look at the general fund, we are actually 315 below our projected where we were this year. We have some agency payments that have not been paid in the month of May that we were expecting. I hope to see them in June. The good news is that we are almost statistically right where we projected we'd be after 11 months in the year, which I think is a tremendous achievement in this environment. We're 74,000 below where we thought we would be, but on a almost $15.7 million, that's pretty close. So I feel good about where we're at with that. On the expenditure side, we had one bill that was paid late in May. I'm sorry, we got the bill late and paid it. So we are 121,000 over our projection, but for the total year, we are close to 20% below what we projected in expenditures for the year. I will always give credit to the department managers who manage their budgets to the penny and keep us in good shape. As usual, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. General fund departments, pretty much they're all in good shape after the supplemental. No surprises at this point. I don't think there will be any for the rest of the year as far as this month. Again, department heads are doing really well. General fund balance right now is sitting at $3,650,000, 1.7 times the minimum reserve of $2,150,000. And you can see we're projecting to finish the year just over $3 million. I did come across a notice from the feds on when they're going to distribute the ARPA funds for the second tranche. It's probably not going to be till August.
Shocker.
So you were right.
I hope I'm not. They say, don't expect it in July, and I'm like, I didn't. So, in any event, we're in good shape. That's obviously takes into account that we have the ARP money that sustains us in the general fund, but also, too, on the revenue side, we have a lot of departments that are way over their revenue budget, their resource budget. We look at the street, utility, HES fund, and regional water. These funds are all in good shape. Councilor Harden was kind enough to call me up about the numbers on the HES fund. There was a typo. I did not take out the word beyond or below, but they were under budget on their expenditures. Mr. Rivera is doing a good job of managing their operation, and as you can see, regional water fund, the loss of shares as a revenue source is impacting the revenue. But again, the expenditures have been minded, and we're 10% below on that, or 16% rather. So they're all in good shape as we go into the end of the year. I'm kind of taking a different tack on our capital projects. Many of these projects are in a standstill state or very little activity. I thought it would be prudent as time for the council, when you have other matters to attend to just highlight those that have a significant change in status or an update, just simply to let you know there's more going on than what we told you the last month. In this case, the lift station number 3 upgrade, Mr. Morgan was kind enough to volunteer an explanation of what's going on with that effort and how it impacts the plan for the CIP. And I'm hoping he's ready.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading my excellent verbiage there. So, anyway, so with lift station number 3, I think I had indicated in this report previously that the boring contractor had struck a metal obstruction going underneath the railroad tracks, and we believe to be a rail car. So the contractor has supplied us. They've done a very good job being very transparent with all of the cost estimates that they've received from their subs to ultimately punch their way through that obstruction, hopefully in September. Unfortunately, the dollar figure is up significantly in the range of around $1.2 million total is what we now believe the ending total project to cost. Originally, when we were looking at that issue in that area, the total cost was $950,000 to simply replace the existing lift station, but we ended up deciding to go with a gravity main solution and basically eliminate the lift station. The benefit of going with the lift station versus with going with the gravity option versus just replacing the lift station is that, like, the reason why we're doing this project in the first place is because the 40-year-old pumps and motors and impellers and everything corrode over time, need to be replaced, still very expensive to maintain. A pipe in the ground lasts a significantly longer amount of time. And then also there's just no ongoing maintenance associated with going and maintaining those types of things. So ultimately, long run for the utility customers in the city, it's a much more cost-effective way of removing the sewage from that area. Unfortunately, with this project, just getting mobilized on site in order to start the project, do all of those things, we're already into this project about $265,000, and so that $1.2 million figure includes that $265,000. And so while I hate to swallow this cost increase, I do think that it's still just simply the most fiscally responsible move for the city moving forward to proceed with this project, even though it has significantly increased the cost.
Okay. Don't go.
Mr. Morgan, I have a question on that.
Yeah.
Why do we have to drill a 36-inch hole when they could dig down to it easier?
You know, they could in a normal situation, but we're dealing with the railroad, and everything with the railroad is very challenging. So they would not allow us to just excavate down to it. So we have to bore in order to get through it.
And we have no recourse with the railroad to make them or insist?
Correct, yeah.
I
see. Other questions?
My summary would be, we never have any recourse with the railroad.
Yeah. And really, one of the other options that was considered originally, also with going to a gravity option, was to stay on the east side of the railroad tracks and still bring sewer basically to the north there. In that instance, each of the businesses that are served on that area would have to have private lift stations inside of their business. Then we'd have to basically be trenching into the backside of the businesses. Again, the costs would be roughly similar to this option. So that's why we felt that this is the bulletproof option that, all else fails will always be there and we'll be able to maintain much easier and much more cost efficiently long term. So those were kind of the options that we were investigating.
Okay. Then we move to the second page of the capital projects report. This has to do with the Gladys and Main water line replacement. Again, these other projects, no significant information to share or an update. So I just want to highlight and let Mr. Morgan yet again have the spotlight.
Yeah, so on the Gladys and Main water line replacement, if you go to the website, the hermistonprojects.com website, you can get a little bit more information about that. But this is basically replacing a pretty significant amount of piping. It's in the range of around $1.1 million for a total project. We had it scheduled on the CIP to construct in calendar year 2023. We were heading that direction. We had it budgeted to occur in 2023, but just simply from a resource management standpoint, since we decided to merge completely the North First Place waterline project with the North First roadway project. So that we were originally planning on doing that project, the waterline project this fall, followed by doing the roadway project in the spring. We're combining those projects, so now we're doing both the waterline and the roadway in the spring. And so rather than having two really major projects going at the same time, it does put a pretty significant drag on the water department staff themselves to kind of manage and oversee those projects. So it just simply made sense to push that project into the fall. So that's why that's occurring.
So, Mr. Morgan, won't that also increase the cost then, by pushing it back?
I mean, it's really tough to say right now in this bidding environment, whether it'll go up with inflation or, if some of those prices are going to start to come down. It's kind of anybody's guess at this point.
Other questions? All right, Mr. Kay.
Okay. And then now we're to what I call the city capital projects. The Riverfront Park rebuild is a little slowed down in getting the playground in place because staff that was installing the playground equipment were pulled away to help get the pool ready to open this season. So in the month of May, they did not get quite as much done as they wanted to, but they will get back to it and get it ready for the summer. And then if Mr. Smith has anything to add to what is there on City Hall, I'd be glad to let him do so.
Just side, whoa. And so still shooting for a fall opening. The furniture order is finalized, and we're getting ready to make that go forward. So I'm hoping within July, but in July to do another tour with the council, but it really is going to depend on Lumen, who's formerly Quest, formerly whatever, and they don't always work on the schedule that we like, so they have to install a phone line for the elevator to get activated and be inspected by the state, so we're waiting for that piece of equipment to get finalized.
Is the basement build out pretty close? I mean, did both sides end up being built out?
So the county side they've got floor coverings going in, they have a lot of tile, the bathrooms on that side are really close to being done. The other side, because we didn't know we were going to start up an IT department, and that's where they're going to be located, we hadn't planned to have that finished. And so we just had a meeting last week with the architects to try to get something going, to try to get that finished out so that they can relocate in the fall as well.
So no other contracted relationship downstairs?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
There was some interest, but then nothing came of it.
Okay. Is there still any additional space beyond IT?
No, probably not. Even though I'm hearing the county and CCS might have changed their plans for the basement, but the county, as far as I know, the county's still planning to use the space that was
I mean, the
originally
space,
allocated.
the extra space that we had allocated down there. Is IT department going to take up all of that?
That's what our discussion with the architect was trying to
Okay.
figure out how do we fit and how would that, how best to make it potentially useful in future. And so he's going to get us some drawings by the end of this week so we can take a look at them.
Thank you. Any other questions, Council? Mr.
And
Kay?
that's my report for the month, Mayor.
One question for you, Mr. Kay.
Yes, sir.
Several months ago, we talked about a PERS bonding issue. Is there anything that's moved forward on that?
I'd be glad to answer unless Mr. Smith would. We've been in contact with John Peterson with Piper Sandler. Rates have moved somewhat against us for a bond issue, but he has a rough outline of a process and timeline calendar that we might be able to do a placement with a bank, basically a bank loan, which is way less cumbersome. He's still feeling out the market to whether or not they can hit a 4.5% total interest cost, because that will be in the bid sheet. It can't be any higher than that. I'm of the mindset, and I believe Mr. Smith is too, fine, we can put something together as a process, but we still have until December, per the resolution, to issue. I think the market will come back to us a little bit in the fall, but it's good to know that he's looking out for us as far as making sure we're down the right road.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions from the council? All right. Any public comment on the May 2022 financial report?
I have a question concerning the,
Who are you?
oh, who am I? Okay. Jackie Linton, Hermiston. My question is with the commissioners, are they renting or leasing the basement? Is it month to month, or how is that?
Yes, we have an agreement for them to lease the space. They will be paying rent.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other comments, public comment? Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the May financial report as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Primer, seconded by Councilor Davis, that we accept the May financial report as presented. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Mr. Smith, Hermiston Energy Services Wildfire Mitigation Plan approval.
So, based on a 2021 legislative session requirement, all utilities, municipal utilities, public people utility districts, are all required to have a wildfire mitigation plan. And so, and they specified that it needed to be approved by the city council. So this is before you tonight. It really mirrors UEC's plan, because they're our service provider in all of these situations. So Mr. Rivera worked closely with them, making sure we got this put together so that we could meet the requirements of the legislation. You know, we're not in a hot spot, so to speak, for wildfires, but we do have to follow the law. So that's what's before you tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure any of the communities that actually had a wildfire thought they were in a hot spot either, so, it just happens, unfortunately. So it's good to have a plan in place. This one, is it like a lot of making sure technology's updated, making sure vegetation's trimmed back? I mean, what are the components of the wildfire mitigation plan?
I'll let Mr. Rivera handle that.
Yes, Mr.
Yes,
Rivera.
Mr. Mayor, Council. It's really formalizing the practices and procedures that we've had in place for years. It's really to ensure that every utility in the state has a plan in place, understands how how shutoffs would work, what criteria you go with those, how we handle vegetation management, what's the emergency procedures, how we handle outages. And so it's really to formalize our processes in place and then allow us to track that data and update and keep the state up to date. Right now it's voluntary, but it's voluntary. They're not requiring a specific template. We're providing our template, we're required to do that, and it's kind of a goodwill gesture on our part to say, this is what we're doing, this is how we plan to stay on top of it, and this is our process to review it and things like that. So it's to formalize what we're already doing and how we can do a better job in the future.
And just registering with the state so that they have that plan as part of the statewide?
Correct. It's actually filed with the PUC and then the State Emergency Management Department, and so they have emergency contacts and processes and procedures for each utility. So if there is an issue, they know who to contact, what the processes each utility has in place for shutoffs, things like that. So it's a information clearinghouse for the state, and they found with some recent year wildfires, they didn't have good contact information or understand what criteria each utility operates in. And so this is a way to really provide another level of knowledge for the state.
Perfect. It's one of those voluntold kind of policies.
And we were
that the
pleased to
council has to-
participate in the process. We look forward to
Always politically
transparency
correct.
and active role in the state for damage
Uh-huh.
prevention.
And the council is pleased to approve the plan, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Any public comment? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the Hermiston Energy Services Wildfire Mitigation Plan?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Barone, seconded by Councilor Spicer-Coon, to approve the Hermiston Energy Service Wildfire Mitigation Plan as presented. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Any committee reports tonight? Yes, Mr. Barone?
We had a CAB meeting, a Community Accountability
good.
Board.
Been a while, right?
It's been a while, yeah. Honestly, when I came on council, it was one of the committees I really wanted to be a part of. I believe Councilor Primer and Councilor Gutierrez were on it. Once Councilor Gutierrez had to step down, I became a part of that committee. I think it was 2020. So this is our first meeting since. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think COVID really put a damper on, the ability to have the meetings and to be able to run, the board as efficiently as it should be, because it goes through a couple of systems between juvenile department and referrals. And so we had our meeting. We had, it was myself, school board representative, why am I blanking right now? Ms. Sherman, and also Jackie Linton. So it was us three there. And so at this time, they don't have a list of juveniles or a caseload just yet. And so we were discussing that and seeing about how to restart that and going through different channels. Obviously, we need referrals from the juvenile department, and it's just kind of, the systems have been kind of clogged, I guess I would say, just because even the juvenile receiving reports from the school districts, and so just a lot of those things have just been backed up, and that's why we haven't really been able to get the referrals that we really need. In our meeting, we did talk about there being a huge need for the board to reactivate, and that there is a big need in our community for the board to exist. We had Forge present. They were a mentoring group that presented in front of our city council about a year ago, and so they're trying to partner up with CAB and trying to mentor these students that are going through this. And so it was just kind of more ways to support CAB and make it successful. So they're trying to do connections again with the school district. I think that they're going to present in front of their school board soon. But that was basically what we discussed. We discussed how Forge could be involved in our community and support the youth, and how we really need to start this back up and getting in contact with the juvenile department and all the other referral agencies. to get this back up and going.
So when's your next meeting? Will it be like an official Community Accountability Board meeting, or?
At this point, I think it's TBA.
Okay.
We're still kind of waiting for a list and referrals from the juvenile department. It's kind of hard at this point too, since the school year has ended, and so I think we're just going to reboot and try to see if we can get back up and going before the school year starts.
And just for clarification, so the public understands, you know, the Community Accountability Board is an organization, or is a cooperative between the school district and the city to work with juvenile offenders, often first-time offenders, correct?
Yes.
And so these individuals have the opportunity to come in front of the Community Accountability Board, take responsibility for their mistake, and do some sort of public service usually. And if they do that and complete the process, they get their record clean, right? And so it's a great community opportunity, or community service opportunity, and a win for the individual as well, because, you know, sometimes kids get lost into the system and then they become repeat offenders and then they just become longtime criminals. And so if we can get them right at the beginning in that first offense, and, you know, maybe alter the course, hopefully they don't go down the wrong course and they make the right decisions, and for those actions then they get their record wiped clean. So it's a great community organization and collaboration between the school district and the city and the individuals, and so I hate to see that fall through the cracks. It's, I think, beneficial to our community.
Well, in addition to the city, it does work also through the state court system as well. We are bound by confidentiality rules and such that go along with that. The city police department also provides names and staff to assist with that as well. So it is a great program. Over the last 8 years that I've been involved with it, we've had a lot of kids go through it. And the entire time, I think we had one kid that was a quote-unquote repeat, but extenuating circumstances allowed for that. But most cases, it's a one-and-done type thing, and it does work well, I believe.
Good. Looking forward to that starting back up. Any other committee reports? Okay. Mayor's report. Busy last couple weeks. We had the Eastern Oregon Business Summit here. I participated as one of the speakers on the water tour. That was on Thursday. We had a dinner Thursday night. A lot of folks from across the state, I think close to 200, came and joined us here in Hermiston. Had a lot of activity from the government world in Hermiston this spring. So it's all positive, bringing people to our side of the state to show off all the good work that our community is doing. And so there was 11 representatives, I think, that were here. 2 of the governor candidates were here. Senator Merkley was here. Wyden zoomed in. So good representation by the politicians. And just a great opportunity to show off Hermiston and all the great things we got going on here. So I appreciate Eastern Oregon Women's Coalition for organizing that and bringing it to Hermiston. The day before this meeting, AOC, which is the Association of Oregon Counties, had their board meeting here in Hermiston as well. So many of those stuck around and participated in the business summit for the next 2 days. So another opportunity for Hermiston to show off all its great things. I did have a private conversation with Senator Merkley. He was gracious with his time and was able to meet with him and talk about Hermiston and some of the federal opportunities to participate in some of the things we got going on here locally. And so hopefully we'll see some of that come to fruition. LOC's been busy as well. We had an executive board meeting, we had a board meeting, and we had a strategic planning meeting. So lots of travel, lots of Zoom. Lots of good stuff, though, going on at the League of Oregon Cities as we are all kind of getting back together again and getting back to more normal. So, been busy. How about counselors? Yes, Mr. Myers?
I did attend the Juneteenth event
Oh, yes.
in McKenzie Park. It was very nice, had a good time.
Yeah.
There were, Virginia Garcia was there, and she greeted us, and there was a little entertainment, and they had a barbecue, and it was very nice. It was well attended, and it was a good time.
Good. Now, there's a little hiccup there at the beginning, but I think the city sprung to action pretty quickly, so we
I
appreciate
think there was a little water issue going
yeah,
on there.
something. So I'm glad it turned out good. Thank
It
you.
was nice.
If it had been today, they would have wanted the sprinklers to
Right.
cool off, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, council? Mr. Smith, are you going to tell us about 4th of July? I know we got a big celebration coming up. Okay. Before we get to you, let's talk to the youth advisors. Do you guys have anything this evening? How's summer going? You out of school, right? Yeah. Any summer programs going on that you guys are participating in?
Honestly, I don't know.
Just sleeping in, being lazy all
don't
summer?
know. We'll see. And also, I've been trying to find a job the whole time, so I don't.
Brandon, Pool's hiring, aren't they? Parks and Rec, yeah, I know. Got all kinds of jobs.
Yeah, but no, I don't. We don't. I don't have really anything major to report. I
Right.
don't know. Julissa.
Julissa?
I don't really have anything.
Anything, Julissa?
I do, actually.
Okay.
It's getting really hot, like ridiculously hot, unreasonably hot. And just a little reminder to stay hydrated. I already finished my water, so
Good.
you just gotta stay hydrated. Put on sunscreen. I have seen so many burnt people around town. It hurts me to see them burnt because like it's red. So sunscreen and water. The two most survival necessary things right now in the summer of Hermiston of 2022.
Now, you're working for the pool?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am. I actually got off work 2 hours ago,
Okay,
3 hours ago.
cool. So you're learning some good life skills there, too, while you're working.
Mhm.
Nice. All right, Mr. Smith?
First, I would like to invite Jordan Stanley, our new IT director, to just kind of introduce himself a little bit, and so
Welcome.
the council can get to know him.
We get a lot of emails from you, but we've never been able to put a face with the name.
Yes, my name's Jordan Stanley, as Mr. Smith just said. I'm very excited to be here. I appreciate the city for giving me this opportunity. I've spent the last 22 years working for the ESD and IT, doing support for local governments, customers including City of Hermiston, Morrill County Government, UCFD1, and several others. Including myself, we've assembled a small team of 4 IT staff, and we all look forward to working for the city. Appreciate this opportunity.
Right on. Well, welcome. Yeah, it's great to have you part of our team. We've been working together we brought the ESD on.
Yeah, over 20 years
Long
ago.
time ago, yeah.
I started about after 2000, so that's been a while.
Well, great to have you.
Nice to actually see you.
Right,
Yeah.
actually, see you in person
Yeah.
and have you on our staff. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And please welcome your staff as well. All right, Mr. Smith, anything else?
Yeah, just to make sure everybody knows about the 4th of July, we did all we could to try to keep the fireworks on the 4th. Our contractor just could not supply a pyrotechnician, and so after looking into every other avenue, we decided to try to lengthen the celebration for the 4th, and so have some fireworks on Sunday, July 3rd, and then during the day, starting at 1 o'clock, the pool will be open until 8, and then are the activities in Butte Park also at 1 or 3? So the activities in the park start at 3, the pool will be open at 1. So most of the day on the 4th, a lot of things going on in the city for people to celebrate.
And Brandon's going to turn the rheostat down, so it's not quite so hot.
No, we want everybody in the pool.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be full.
And then I think I had one other item I wanted to just Just wanted to let you know, we had been waiting for what we're calling the OCF grant, Oregon Community Foundation, second phase of that. And there were some hiccups with the insurance requirements, but they were able to kind of work those out, particularly for cities. And so we will be able to offer some discounts to people throughout the year. Those who registered for swimming lessons are not going to get the discount, but we're trying to give them a package of a towel and some other pool-related things, goggles and stuff, so that they can feel some benefit from that as well.
So the city applied and was awarded an OCF grant to help offset the cost of swimming?
Swimming, other recreational activities. Okay. We'll be able to use it through the fall as well, so all the activities will have that discount applied.
Great.
Until we run out of the funding.
So that's the Oregon Community Foundation.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it. That was the first round. Okay. Technically, they went through another organization with the second round, but everybody kind of recognizes it by OCF, so that's what we're calling it.
Perfect. Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Anything else, council?
I was going to ask, I saw in your memo we're providing water now to North Morrow County.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that. Thank you. It's probably going to be just kind of a bridge service for them, but while they figure out something more permanent, but they're going to be able to utilize some water from the regional water system, and that will allow us to kind of exercise that treatment system so it doesn't get totally go into any develop any problems. So I don't know, Mark, have they filled the first tanker?
I don't believe they have yet. I think I've been making sure that when they do, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
We want to send some folks out and get some pictures of it and hear about how it went. So I don't believe they filled their first tanker. I think they were having some issues with getting their tanker over here. So,
okay.
But they've secured a tanker. So.
Okay.
Could you explain that or elaborate exactly what's going on?
So rural Morrow County is having some challenges with nitrates in the water, and so this will allow those residents to have a source of potable water
so we're
during
actually
that time.
Filling up a tanker
and
with
then
potable water from our regional water system, and we're doing this for free or for a charge?
We're doing it for free right now. If it became a long-term thing, we might work out something, but right now it seems to be it's going to be a short-term solution.
Good. Yeah, seems like a great partnership, and they're our neighbors, they're partners with us on a lot of other projects, so when we have an opportunity to help out our fellow partners, I think that's a reasonable thing to do.
Yep.
Yep. Good. Very good. Anything else from the council? All right, we had a short one tonight. We are adjourned.